should be. Yeah, it is. So next Monday, you guys, rec committee, propose your budget. We're hoping if 7:30 slot would work for you guys, 7:15, 7:30.
Next Monday?
Yeah, if you guys can.
Yeah, I think hopefully somebody, Kelly or Celia, will be able to make it too, because they're the ones who did it last year.
Perfect. 9/21, I believe the date is on that. Let me think. I don't have the calendar up. Whatever Monday is.
Yeah, 9/21. Yeah.
Perfect. 7:20.
I'll be in Ohio on next week.
Ohio?
Yeah, my company pulled me back in. They got a broken oven.
How long are you going to be out there, David?
I'll be out there for just beginning probably 1 week.
You have to quarantine when you come back.
I know.
We're in Ohio.
Sydney.
I have no idea what that is.
40 miles from Dayton.
Okay, so over on that side. Can't say as I've been to Ohio.
It's a long state.
I haven't spent any time out there. How's COVID out there in Ohio these days? Are you taking a look at that, David?
Yeah, my company says it's good. No, they end up testing us out there anyway, and they test us when they let us go. So
Gotcha.
you walk into a tent, they shoot your picture with a thermal camera, record it. Then they take your physical temperature. Then if you're good, you go in. Then when you leave the building, you go through and they take your picture. They do a thermal scan and take your temperature again.
Sounds like they got it figured out.
I mean, I think out of all the plants we had, I think they've had 2 people that showed positive, nobody hospitalized, and you know they're doing it the right way.
That's good anyway. I'm over at the shipyard and there's a lot of concern over there because we're trying to handle it the best we can, but there's a lot of people that come and go there from all parts of the country. You know.
Yeah, that must be tough. You're in close quarters over there too, right?
If you're on the boat, you are, but a lot of places you're not. Where I'm at, not so much. So.
Gotcha.
But it's pretty much mandatory to, I mean, if I'm not in my office, it's pretty much mandatory to have my mask on. Pretty much, it's mandatory for everybody. Even, you know, if you're working out somewhere and you're 6 feet away, we pretty much mandatory you have a mask just to be safe.
Oh yeah, what they're mandatory. The company gives you you have to wear the company mask or I'll be going.
Yeah, I would figure it's pretty much. I don't know about the whole country. I would imagine it's mostly enforced across the country. I don't know. Maybe certain states, not so much. I don't know.
I mean, really, the reality it seems to hit the meatpacking plants more than it does the other.
If you drove to Dayton, what would it be? About 16 hours?
Yeah, if you're lucky, yeah.
Maybe like 18, maybe.
You go, yeah. Well, I used to drive back and forth there. I mean, my best time was. Well, I was actually down south of that. I was down in just a little south of Cincinnati, and that was about 16, 18 hours, and my worst was 30 hours in a snowstorm.
Oh, that stinks.
30 hours.
Don't expect snow.
Well, this is a unfortunate showing right now.
I we'll see what happens. Maybe give it to like 6:45, and then
Yeah. I haven't heard from Celia. Have any of you guys heard from her?
no. I did see the email. I logged on briefly and checked my email, and I did see the one from Lori.
Huh. I'll tell you, it's tough right now. Everyone's going different ways and all the different COVID protocol.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's changing. I totally get it.
It's been this week's been kind of crazy. I have a meeting. Had a meeting Monday, meeting Tuesday, tonight's meeting if we have it, and then tomorrow another meeting. So 4 meetings in 4 nights.
Jeez.
That's all I've been doing, somewhere between 10 and 11 hours at work. So I'm ready for the weekend.
Yeah, I bet.
And sometimes Kelly, she can get trapped up at one of her kids' games or something.
Yeah, she said she was picking them up at a soccer game, the Twins.
Maybe it goes into overtime or something. Do they have overtime for soccer? Or do they end it at a tie?
Yeah, you go to I think you do overtime. I'm trying to remember now. It's been so long.
Oh.
I think you go into overtime, then you have a shootout after that if nobody sudden death overtime.
Kelly's here.
Was there any
I don't see it.
Was there any interest in pursuing the skating ring?
Oh, there's Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Hello. Sorry.
Oh, we're just talking about you.
Oh, good. My ears were burning.
It was all good stuff.
All right.
We got 4 of us now. I mean, we got a quorum.
We do have that, so we can have a meeting if there's anything that you guys need to vote on.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll call this thing to order then at 6:41. Take a few notes here. I'm going to read
Mike,
our...
you growing a beard these days? What's going on with you?
I don't know if it's an actual beard. There's things... I've never been allowed to grow the facial hair, so it's interesting. It's coming in some spots, not so much in others. Yeah, I'm working from home these days, so.
Is David up in the corner? Am I?
Yeah, David's on the phone.
Okay. Is Celia with us tonight?
Not yet.
Just the 4 of us right now.
No.
We start though. I'll read the opening here,
Okay.
and then we'll move forward. All right, here we go. I should have practiced this. This is a good one. All right. As chair of the Recreation Committee due to the COVID-19 coronavirus crisis, in accordance with Governor Sununu's Emergency Order Number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this board is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to the meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the Governor's Emergency Order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, this is to confirm that we are, A, providing public access to the meeting by telephone. With additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means, we are utilizing the Google Meets platform for this electronic meeting. All members of the board have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through the Google Meets platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen. And, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the following phone number: 1-402-803-1326 with a PIN of 826-103-345, or by clicking on the following website, which is https meet.google.com/kep-kaqh-qzo. Then B, providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of how to access the meeting using Google Meets, and instructions are provided on the town website at rollinsford.nh.us. C, providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anybody has a problem, call 534-1049 or email admin@rollinsford.nh.us. And D, adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting, we will adjourn the meeting and have it rescheduled at that time. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, also please state whether there's anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. Whew. All right.
You did great.
I think that's a new record for me. We'll start with the roll call. Lori's excused. Kelly.
Kelly. What do I say?
Present and alone.
Present and alone for now.
All right. Celia is absent. David?
I'm here, present, and there's nobody here. Nobody's going to be bothering me.
Paul?
I'm here, present and alone.
And Mike is present and alone. All right.
That sounds lonely a little bit, though, don't it? Present and alone.
Did we get any emails from visitors or comments? I didn't see anything.
I didn't.
All right. Move past that one. We do have meeting minutes. We have from the 17th of June, the workshop on the 5th of August, and then the last meeting was on the 19th of August. Anybody have any issues with those minutes?
Nope, I read through those today.
I do not.
Oh,
Oh,
is that
here.
Celia?
Yep. Okay. Must take like about a minute to actually connect to something.
Yeah,
you go.
if you had to push more buttons.
Hey, Celia.
Hello.
Are you there? Hey.
She sees us.
I don't think she sees us.
Hi. Sorry.
Oh.
You're smiling. Good.
I got caught up with my kids doing schoolwork. Completely
Hey,
lack of time.
it'll be reflected in your pay. That's fine.
Thanks.
We just got through the roll call. I read the opening statement. We started at 6:41. With you being here now, the only one that's not here is Lori, and she sent the email, so she's excused.
Okay.
So Celia has to say her roll call.
Oh, yeah. Celia.
I am here by myself.
Thank you.
At the moment, I might have kids interrupting me.
All right.
And I'll move forward. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess you could ask Celia if she's all set with the minutes first.
Oh, yeah. Anybody have any comments on the minutes?
I do not.
I do not.
All right. We'll take a motion to accept minutes
So I'll
as
move forward on that motion.
Okay, that is Paul.
I'll second the motion.
all right. Roll call vote. Celia, you want to lead us on that?
In just a second.
Okay.
And that was a second by Kelly.
Yep.
And then, so Paul,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and Celia. Yes.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you. That passes unanimously. And we'll move over to you, Paul, for committee lead announcements. If you have any guidance for us from select
Well,
board.
I guess the only thing I got to bring up right now is, I talked, it's recorded. We had a select board meeting, I think 2 weeks ago, and I brought up the rec director. And right for now, we're going to table that option. Think about it for next year and probably bring it up at the town meeting. But for now, until the end of this year, it's not going to be moving forward. So I know that's probably not the best news, but that's the news I got. I have. Sorry, better grammar.
So Paul, how does that work with town with the whole town meeting thing? So because it was passed this past March, so then what happens again? Would it just be brought up as a budget item again for next year, or?
So you guys are gonna present the budget on Monday anyway, but I'm not exactly sure. So I don't want to really give that answer, but that's how I believe it would work. So I'll have to probably refer to Caroline on that one. She was going to be here, but she's got the nitrogen meeting tonight at 7. So I don't have an answer on that right now.
Okay. So we'll just, I mean, we'll continue doing what we can.
It could probably be brought up Monday with all of us when we talk about the budget. I would see no reason why not to.
So what happens? I guess I didn't know. We have something this coming Monday with the. I thought it was October.
We got an invite for October 28th.
Yeah, it was October 20 something is what I remember seeing.
But yeah, before you guys got on the line, Paul was mentioning this Monday, the 21st.
Yeah, we usually have. Again, this is the information I got, but we usually have, because of the SPA, and we usually have the all the town directors, all the town heads meet usually like second, third week of September up until the end of September, so we can get all the budget presented for October.
Is it maybe we're going?
The budget committee is going to present. CIP will present. We've already had the highway. Few others.
Because what I just saw is like our October 28th is when it says budget committee meeting. So is that different, Paul, than what you're talking about?
It must be. It must be the final acceptance of the budget.
Kelly, that's when we go before the budget committee, not before the select board.
Oh, okay.
We've done it both before. So I guess what Paul is saying is this coming Monday, we may be going before the select board to justify our budget to the select board because we're underneath their or part of their budget.
Right. So before you were here, Mike already volunteered you. Sorry.
Okay.
Mike,
Yeah, I said Celia and Kelly would be happy to do it on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so, Mike. I passed the buck on to you, buddy.
Oh, geez.
So that it sounds like October 28th is when we're going to present our section of the select board's budget to the budget committee.
Right. So I think that's how it works. I'm sorry I don't have the exact information on that, but I think you're in line.
That's how we've done it before. Is we do the select board first, get their approval and consent. They make any changes or recommendations, and then we take it to the budget committee.
So, Paul, you said we would be able, though, to bring up, the part-time rec director for this year still at that meeting, or?
I don't see why not.
All right. I mean, my big concern here, I've been thinking about, how we go about this, and I know really since I joined the board or the committee, it's been heavy on Camp Raleigh, and the focus is on Camp Raleigh, but really I think it's much bigger than Camp Raleigh what we're asking that rec director to do. And the more programming I think that we can offer the town, the more people that we're going to get interested in helping the town. So hopefully, we can get the other taxpayers to come in and realize that there is benefit to this programming and to come in and help with other committees, not just the rec committee, but other aspects of the town that need help as well.
Yeah, and I know your plan that obviously isn't going to work out. I'm not going to say it's not going to work out at all. It's not going to work out in the near future. I know you wanted to bring someone in. You were hoping maybe in December to start getting things going for the first of the year. So I'm not saying don't bring that up next week. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't. But
well, I guess, Paul, my question with that is, the town passed that budget. We were, we haven't spent really any money on recreation this whole entire year because Camp Raleigh was canceled. So I don't know, where is that $60,000 and why aren't we using it for something rec related?
My understanding from the budget process is that the select board has the final say on all of our money. So if they need the money to cover COVID supplies or other town emergencies, they can pull money from one department to cover another. And it's in the end the select board's decision because we're an advisory committee to them. But I may be wrong.
No, I don't want to quote because I'm new. I'm a new selectman, still learning the ropes. So I don't want to be misquoted about exactly how it works. And but again, those questions you can bring up again Monday with all of us, because it's not like the money is gone. It'll just be brought up again next year. That's all I got.
Okay. Not the best news, Paul, but thank you for the information.
I know.
We'll work with it. Let's see here. Camp Raleigh. Kelly, you have any updates for us on Camp Raleigh?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. Senior programming, Celia?
I have not done anything more with that over the last couple of months because of the COVID issue. I have checked in at the library to see if there's spaces available. And right now the community room is for staff only. I have to get hold of the library director for more information when they think they can open the community room, if at all.
All right. Let's see here. Winter sports. Yeah, pretty much the same boat. Haven't made much progress. School's closed. Anybody using it other than staff at this point? So we'll stand by on that one. I don't know, David, if you want to give us a brief synopsis. Let's see. I got you down there a little further on new business. We can talk about the ice rink.
Okay.
But current programming, yeah, we haven't really made any progress there for the winter sports. We'll move into the financial update. Celia, you got anything for us right now for the 2020 budget? I mean, we haven't spent any money. We're not expecting to spend any money.
We have not spent any money, and maybe that's something we need to discuss tonight if we're going before the select board on Monday. Whether or not we want to put in any purchase orders by the end of the year for equipment and stuff. What are we thinking about purchasing so we can address that with the select board, with the funds that are there, and give them a heads up. We would like to purchase X, Y, and Z this year, so we have it for next year. So any supplies we think we might need for Camp Raleigh, anything we would like for winter sports or anything like that, we should probably be thinking about now and putting in purchase orders so we're not doing it last minute at the end of the year. And I don't know if Kelly has any information about basketball tournaments, if they've been soliciting teams or not yet. But
No, you know what? There right now, you know, a lot of our high school sports are on hold because of the yellow designation of York County right now. So, you know, this is stuff that we have to, as people that live in Rollinsford, we have to know what's going on over the border. So my kids right now cannot play any high school sports because of the yellow coding.
Taking a little bit of a step back, it sounds like, unfortunately. On the
Yes, but the weird part is, so this is kind of, you know, I just picked up my kids from soccer practice, so they're playing in a Marshwood Travel Soccer League, and that's going forward. So it seems like recreation programs have a little bit more flexibility with guidelines than, you know, high school or middle school sports. And I honestly could not tell you why. But I also can tell you my daughters played softball all summer long in Maine, and somehow they were allowed to do that. So there isn't very positive talk right now about basketball and indoor sports unless something changes, you know. It's
Okay.
so I don't know what any of us are going to do with any of our children right now.
So I'm guessing that makes it, I don't know, you can tell me, but it makes it harder to get, with COVID, it's going to make it harder to get volunteers as opposed to easier, right? Because parents are homeschooling, parents are running here and there. So there's less time available and more time, right? That's a fair thing to say right now.
I would say you're probably accurate as far as, I mean, just, I know from our committee here,
Right.
everyone's, you know, you add on all the remote learning from RGS right now is really taking a toll.
Yeah, our kids are home all week, you know. It's not.
I think it's definitely going to be tough to find recruits right now for our committee, but
So
we all find one person. I mean, I think we'd be in a good spot, right?
yeah.
I put stuff out there. Celia, did you see my announcements that I put out?
I saw one on the Raleigh Moms page and one on Rollinsford, New Hampshire.
Yeah,
Raleigh.
happening. So I put two announcements out, but it was really weird when I went back to look at it. I was like, it seemed like hardly anybody, I don't know, had viewed it, and then I couldn't even find it. Like when I went to go back, and I was like, okay, did that even appear anywhere? Sometimes those sites, I'm like, I don't know.
Okay.
But you saw it, Celia, huh?
Yeah.
So this might be, this is what I feel like I need to throw out there. Like, and this, you know, Mike, I think you and I really our whole committee, right? This is the passion here is what is happening in our, you know, our community with anything.
Oh, Celia left the meeting. She got bored of what you were saying, Kelly.
Sorry, I was just going to go off for a little while here on my tangent. So here's my concern that right now there's nothing being offered at Rollinsford Grade School for any type of exercise, extracurricular, intramural, anything. And there's been nothing since March offered. We haven't offered anything as a committee from recreation. So I just read an article the other day about what's the next pandemic, right? The next pandemic is an obesity pandemic that they're saying is a direct result of what's going on with COVID. Because when people don't have enough money, the easiest and cheapest food to buy is junk food and processed food. And so therefore, you know, people aren't eating what they should be eating. But also there's this activity piece that now nobody's being active. And I mean, that really concerns me as, you know, a parent and a community member, and that, you know, being active is really hard for a lot of people. And, you know, Mike, I don't know, you might be able to answer this question, but I was never, when I walked around the grade school the other day, you know, I was never so bummed to see that those stupid soccer goals still don't have nets in them. And I'm like, really? Are we really on year 3 that those soccer goals don't have nets in them? And I don't know. I just feel like why hasn't our school provided that? And I
got a meeting. I got a meeting.
What? Sorry, Dave. What did David say?
You know, somebody walked by and wanted to know if I was practicing to be a 95-year-old friend. So.
But I get, and then the other thing, like, I don't know, the softball field we talked about, as far as I know, it looks like nothing has been done to the softball field about the WASP situation. Do you know, Mike, you would know that being on the school board, was that dug up this year, and was that, you know, was anything done with that?
It was not dug up. I'm trying to remember what actually they did in the spring, but you know, they talked to the exterminator who had done the work the year prior, and they felt that what was done, they shouldn't come back again. So, I meant to follow up on that, and I haven't asked. So we have another meeting next
So
week.
I have
Where we're at. Go
I
ahead,
have input on both of them. Kelly, I completely understand. My child has gone from the 50th percentile in weight to 96th percentile in weight because of the lack of activity and the constant access to food being at home during this pandemic. And so we've been following up with doctors the last couple of weeks about that, and even looking at chronic conditions that he could get from his weight gain, such as diabetes or something like that. And we also have been trying to set up play dates with our friends at the school, like once a week or something like that, where they can play after school hours. And one of the kids last Wednesday got stung by a wasp, and the family had to leave. I don't know what it was, so they're still there. And I don't know.
On the ball
We were talking that it was on the play structure. She was stung. But we were also talking that with the drought, they may be more prevalent because of the dry ground. So I don't know if that's played a part in it or not. Those are my two personal experiences, and I'd love to see something to get the kids out and active.
Yeah, and I know David, I kind of left our last meeting with David like being the bike rider, and I was kind of thinking, okay, well, we can offer, what can there be, a biking club one day a week? Can there be a running club one day a week? Those are things we can do outside and be socially distanced. I had a client who teaches Zumba class, and I kind of said something to her, and I was like, I don't know, would you be willing to come to the grade school and do something outside for an outside Zumba class? And she was kind of like, yeah. So, I don't even know if we're allowed to do that, on school grounds with everything. I honestly have no idea, but I just feel like, the grade school used to be, we used to have 5 different intramural programs all year round. We had soccer and football, but Paul probably remembers playing some of that.
It was a long time ago. But would Lori have any more insight on that? About using the school grounds, since she...
Yeah, that might be a good question for Lori. I don't know.
I don't know.
Would you know, Mike?
I can't imagine that you couldn't use the field if you were practicing the right. I don't know.
Yeah, something organized.
If you're playing soccer, you can argue that you can't practice social distance. So.
Yeah, the school inside is off limits, obviously, but talking about outside, we haven't really talked about that at all. I mean, the playground's open right now. Ball field's open. That's a good question. I could take a look into that one as well.
You got about a month before fall starts hitting, right? And then all of a sudden it's a whole different ball game.
Right. We don't have a lot of time outside, but I don't know.
I also wonder about other town lands. I know the Jewish high holidays are coming up, and the temple in Portsmouth is using the Legion to run one of its services here in Rollinsford, so that they don't have large gatherings. And then there's several dance studios that take place in the mills, and they use outdoor spaces at the mills. And they've even built a dock down by the hard cider place, where at the bottom of that hill where it goes down to the river. So those might be. And the dock is a little further up. They used it as a stage for a performance this summer. So maybe if we're doing a Zumba class, she could be up on the stage and the other people could be behind her.
Yeah, I guess we don't need to do it at the school, I guess, right?
We could look at that at the mills.
I got my only concern with the timing of the conversation, not that I don't appreciate everything you're saying, is, our next meeting is until the middle of October. So we could come up with the best idea today, and then by the time we get to action on it, wouldn't be till October, and then snow starts flying pretty quick.
Start thinking ahead to winter activities you can do with everybody.
Yeah, so really, I think we need to start focusing on winter. Kelly, I guess what you're saying, Celia, I appreciate all that. as far as our budget execution, that's how we got started on this topic. What item can you foresee that we would want to purchase this year? And I think really that's, if you have any recommendations, we can talk about it now, or, really we should all bring that to the next meeting in October and say, hey, this is what we want to start actioning on.
I would say let's think about it for the next meeting. We've talked about postponing the movie license into the new year, or getting more information about that. And then maybe doing an inventory of what we have for Camp Raleigh, if we need anything more for that. Do we need more game tables? Kelly and I talked about a foosball table or something like that, but that requires storage, and where does it go? We've talked, we probably don't need anything more for basketball or indoor soccer. If we're going to, do we need anything else? Like David's going to update us on this ice rink. So maybe he could do further research in how much it's going to cost for getting something started, and will it fit into our winter rec budget for this year?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Those are all accurate thoughts. If we just, come prepared to talk about it for next meeting as far as expenditures go, I'll try to put a list together for us.
Yeah.
I think we have a good solid plan for 2021. Does anyone have anything, that we want to change before the select board on Monday with it?
Celia, do you have the keys to the shed?
I did have a key, and I have to put my hands on it. And I made a key earlier this year for Mike.
Yeah, I have a key.
So we should have 2 keys. And
Yeah.
Mike is saying he has his.
Maybe we should just poke our heads into the shed and see what the status of kind of things are, since they haven't been looked at in a year, right? So I guess that might give us a good idea if we did want to buy something like a foosball table, if we could store it in the shed, and just to see how things kind of managed over the winter in there, if it would be okay, if it would survive. That might be a good idea to kind of check that out. At least then we know if we bought something like that, it would have a place to go, that it would be safe from the elements.
The other thing we have talked about in the past is looking at our radios and deciding if they need to be updated, if we need new batteries, because we have not had a sufficient number, or the batteries have died in the past. So the radios are here at my house, and I need to get them into storage with Caroline. So we need to look at those, decide if we need more of those. And first aid supplies are always in high need during the summer, like Band-Aids, ice packs, things like that we might be able to use during any of our things, like having a first aid kit on hand for things like that.
Mike, did you ever have a first aid kit for the indoor soccer?
I did not. I brought some of my own stuff with me. I didn't actually have a first aid kit.
Because I know we bought some of those for our basketball. So I know our basketball people had at least one each in each bag. So that was kind of, I guess we forgot you on that one. Buy a
That's all right.
first aid kit.
Well, let's try and, I'll send out a message to you, Kelly, and you, Celia, to try and get together and inventory that shed before the next meeting. That way we have a good idea of what we're, looking to order, or what we potentially could need.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, and then for Monday, who's able to attend that? Celia, are you able to dial into that select board meeting?
I am at this point.
Point.
We're looking at like the 7:15, right around, let's say 7:20 slot, 7:30 at the latest. Usually allocate a half hour for everybody, but it usually doesn't take a half hour.
And so the meeting itself starts at 7:30. Is that what you said?
You guys, yeah, we'll say 7:30, because each person is allocated a half hour.
All right. So
I think you should go for it, Mike. I think that's all you, Mike. I think you and Celia.
But what happens a lot of times is, which is fine, we allocate a half hour, but like say the library comes in, they take 10 or 15 minutes. So then if, you guys are all online at 7:15, we're ready to go, we're cool, not 7:30 works. So I'm not saying, I'd say like 7:20 log on.
Okay.
It's so weird that we don't do these things in person anymore.
So it's kind of obvious. I've been a selectman since March, but since I've been a selectman, I have not met in person. And me, Kelly, I'm more of a person that needs to interchange with a person in a room. I don't do as well with these things.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I'd rather be sitting in a room with all you guys and
yeah, it's easy to connect. It's easy to read people's. I mean, I can see your faces okay, but sometimes I may say something and I can actually get a feel for the sense instead of But it's gonna come back. I pray soon. First of the year, I'm hoping that COVID's gone mostly. I hope.
Yeah.
So, Paul, I think I saw you at one of your first meetings at the firehouse, and that was the only in-person meeting I've ever seen.
Actually, yeah, but that was like my first one. You're right. I was getting sworn in. So I don't know what the heck.
Speaking of January, from January to March, I'm probably going to be taking a leave of absence from the committee, because we're expecting a baby in our household in the end of January.
Congratulations.
Surprise, Celia.
Somebody will have to be filling in for me at the beginning of the year.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Welcome to the chaos of a third.
You can't
go back now, can you?
No, I can't.
Okay, wow, that's exciting news. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, well.
We need some fillers. We need some filler people.
So Celia, if you're able to dial in Monday, I'll dial in as well. But I'm going to kind of let you lead the charge of that.
Yes.
I have not done it yet, so I don't have an example to follow of what they're looking.
Yeah, jump right in, Mike. Jump right in.
We want you to be there, so when I'm gone for my leave of absence, you know what's going on.
Yeah, no, that's good. If you don't mind leading the charge, I'll back you up, and then if we can, if we see our chance to make a pitch for that rec director, we'll throw it in there.
And I'm going to be helpful where I can with you guys. I'm going to be, I'm going to express that, we need more community input, but you really want to get some rec activities going for the near future and not necessarily too far off in the distance. I know that's your plan, Mike. And
yeah,
I know you're putting your full heart into it, so that's good too.
It's just, yeah.
It's tough. I know. It's tough for people. This time of year, I shouldn't say this time of year, how this year is going, it's tough with COVID and everything just to try to focus right now on things.
But we'll get there. We'll see what happens on Monday. And then we talked about the budget committee meeting on the 28th of October. So, Celia, if you could try and keep that on your radar as well.
Okay.
We'll move into new business. 3 to 5 year plan. I know that was mentioned that we want to come up with something there. Yeah, I kind of sent out our goals for 2021. I think those kind of tie together. I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything there, or if anyone has any grand input as far as a 3 to 5 year plan that you'd like to see. We've already said it. Me personally, what I want to see is more recreation programming to get the town of Rollinsford excited about helping the town. And I think that was a success last winter with the indoor soccer. We got a lot of people excited, and they were surprised by that programming that we were able to offer on short notice. And I haven't reached out to any of those parents yet, but that's something that I'm going to do here before our next meeting, just to see if anybody wants to come in and help. But I really think the target goal is to have 8 on this committee or more with a part-time rec director. And if you look at those goals I sent out, that kind of all ties that together. So I don't know if anyone has any long-term vision for 3 to 5 years, but
I want to give that some thought, Mike. I'm sure
Yeah.
there'll be some visions I'll come up with, but your target goal of 8 people, if you could actually get 3 or 4 more people, that would be, I shouldn't say you, we can get 3 or 4 more people, it would make the whole rec's job easier, I think.
yeah, and I think it would allow us to have a month, where you can't make it. It's not like you're missing out, I mean, or not like the committee can't move forward then.
And
Yeah.
I think looking far ahead is a great idea, because we know that the near future isn't overly promised, but if we're looking at, we'll say January, February, March, there's like a lot of things we may be able to think about doing, especially if it's one of those good winters where we have a lot of snow, like snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, and whatever.
I personally would like to see, we talked about this, I think, in the past about, and Paul, you and I talked about it when I joined the other committee that you were on. Now I'm trying to remember what the name of that was.
Conservation.
Conservation,
Ben. You're right.
Yeah. So, I would love to see a tennis court or a basketball court on that land on Silver Street. That would be my, 3 to 5 year, or I don't know what the conservation, what's going on with the Sandy Banks project.
Kelly, I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know if Mike and Cecilia, Dave, you guys all been on the page, but I'm technically still on the conservation committee, but I haven't been able to make the meetings, and I've been getting the minutes and stuff. But if we went back, and Kelly, I'm glad you brought that up. We went back somewhere about a year ago now.
Yeah, I think that's when I showed up.
Parcel of land called Scoutland. It basically sits between. You guys know where that is? I mean, not Scoutland, Sandy Bank.
Yeah.
No,
it's right, Mike. It's right on Locust Street. It's between Locust Street and Foundry Street. So it's on its way to the grade school. So there's that one house that sits on Locust Street when you make that right off of Main Street, and then it's all the wooded area behind there. That's town land that is supposed to be for recreation use only.
Interesting.
Yeah. So one of the things we talked about that, I had, until you mentioned that, Kelly, I had split my thoughts, is combined into like I don't know, we could come up with ideas, but kind of like a interactive hiking around type park, but you'd have places where you'd stop and have like, I don't know, for better example, you'd have like pull-up bars, and you go a little farther, maybe have a sit-up stand, go a little bit farther and have something else. So it's both kind of getting in with nature, but also physical fitness, the two combined, so to speak.
A park course is what I've always referred to that as.
The what?
Like a park course, PAR, or
Yeah.
It's different stations on it.
Yeah.
And I think we should check in with the school PTO, because they had a playground committee that was at one point looking to create a walkway with exercises around the exterior of the schoolyard, and they had gotten grant money to help with that. So I don't know if it would duplicate what they're doing or not.
Okay. So that's something definitely that could be. I'm glad you brought up 3 to 5 year plan. Would be awesome to be thinking about the plan. And I can't make any promise about Silver Street, but I know that Silver Street is just another vacant lot.
Yeah. So which lot are you talking about on Silver Street?
It used to be the old town garage.
Oh, that one that was torn down, I guess. That just right there.
Yeah, it's just, and you know what? It's a nice flat. I mean, the reason I look at that is it's already pretty flat, so there wouldn't have to be a lot of, if you're going to put a tennis court or a basketball court in there, you wouldn't have to do a huge amount of like fill or excavation or work or whatever like you would at the other place, the Sandy Bank. I mean, that needs, like, trees are going to have to come down, and there's quite a bit, I think, of just figuring that out.
There is, but there isn't. I don't know if you remember kids when we lived together in the same, pretty much in the same neighborhood, me and Kelly. So that was right behind my house growing up. And when I was a kid, which was a long time ago, there was actually a skating rink there in the winter, a softball field there in the summer. And they actually had a couple telephone poles with lights.
Really? I didn't know there were lights there.
Yeah, we're talking, that's why I started skating. We're talking early 70s. That's how old I am. I'm 56. So
I didn't know you're that old, Paul.
So, your brother's almost 55.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I'm actually 55
And
now.
I've done a lot of research on different assets and financing that the rec committee can have. And if we want to have a facility like a basketball court or tennis courts or any sort of building, we need to get onto the CIP because that would be a town holding and not a committee holding. We are only an advisory group. So I don't know who in the town runs the CIP. That would be more up to Paul to give us that answer.
Miles is the select board representative for the CIP. And I believe the person, the director, I'm trying to think, committee head of that is Suzanne. And I don't know Suzanne's last name, but Suzanne used to be a select board member.
Heward?
Suzanne
Heward.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to think of it.
Well, I think that's really interesting. Both those, I'll work something into that 3 to 5 year plan. I mean, that'd be great. I'm looking at the map right now where Sandy Bank's located. I got you now.
Yeah, so that's been discussed before for using, like I said, recreation type hiking thing. I don't know. I haven't heard any discussion since I've been a select board member of well, I shouldn't say that. I guess the police department was eyeing that land for a new police department. Kelly.
On Silver Street they were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and I haven't heard
what the plan was for that, but I haven't heard anything about, thank God, the new fire station, because it's gonna really, if we get one, it'll bring our tax rate up a lot. That's my opinion.
So there are two other pieces of land that are in town that one Kelly and I discussed, I think, at the conservation committee. Some of the land by the police range.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Out behind the dump. And then there is also Tarcoat Field? I can't say the name right.
Tarcoat?
Yeah. And I hear that's not very accessible, the Tarcoat Field.
That is town land. That is town land.
So those are other pieces of property I've heard of.
Yeah. That's a big field down there, Turcotte's Field. That's where Andy right now. I believe he still grows corn there. I haven't been out there much lately. So
Where is that field? Is that near the overpass?
if you turn down the overpass, went to the end of the road. Okay, so you turn at the overpass, go to the end of that road, and there's the oil refinery there.
Yep.
And you walk maybe 300 yards, you'd hit that field. It's a big field, a huge field.
So is it behind the oil refinery, Paul, or is it on the opposite side?
It's on the opposite side.
Okay.
It's like get to the four-way, which is only about 100 yards. If you took a left right there and walked up to like where Carrie Fortuny used to live,
Yeah.
that road, that all borders that field for the first 300, 400 yards.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to identify some of these spots and definitely work on 3 to 5 year plan. We can get there on one of those. I'd like to think. That's awesome. What about? I was wondering about Scoutland. What is who owns Scoutland? What's the official capacity of that?
Owns. How do I say this? So owns. The town I think technically owns Scoutland, but it's Southeast Land Trust manages it, so it's conservation. So actually, I shouldn't say the town of Rollinson owns it. Southeast Land Trust is the warrant of it. You know, they're the ones that basic. Same with like they're the same ones that own that field. You know, the field for sale that's up for sale on Bear Road.
Yeah,
that beautiful field. If you were driving Bear down Rail Road, well, the other field was donated, and now it belongs to the same people, SELT, Southeast Land Trust, who's a conservation group that manages the land. So,
you know, when we talk about opportunities for recreation, Skyland's right there. I recently started riding our bikes with the kids out there, and it's
yep.
There's no one out there. I was amazed on a Saturday.
So that's something to bring up too, you guys, when, you know, you're talking about trying to get recreation stuff and going, you know, like Mike said, you get, I don't know, 20 people together and mountain biking. It's kind of easy, but it, you know, it's a good, pretty much families can ride out there and you can still have fun and stuff like that. And that's what it's for, recreation.
Huh. All right. Definitely, you guys give me some good thoughts here to put the paper for the 3 to 5 year plan. Anything, David? Any thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, I was unmuting.
Oh, hey.
Okay. No, I think that'd be fun with the bikes. I mean, I try to do 20 to 40 miles a week.
Good.
All right. Well, we'll keep working on that and refining it. You know, when we talk about goals, really one of my goals with the committee is to help us get organized. I said that from the beginning. You know, just to identify who's doing what and have a clear vision. And I'm slowly seeing it come together here. I wish there was more time I could put towards the committee, but I think we are getting to that point where we are able to look 3 or 5 years down the road. And
bless you.
Been a member here for about a year, but I feel like we're all starting to, you know, come together and codify this. So I appreciate everybody's input on that.
I agree, Mike. After just the last 15, 20 minutes, it's like I just started realizing the opportunities we actually have in this town to use. You know, Scoutland is a hidden jewel that, I mean, I go out there with my dog all the time and I don't see people out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm relatively new to the town, so I've only been here for 7 years. So I don't have the history that you guys do. I don't know what it looked like before some of these trees grew in. So when we first moved here, that's one of the things we were looking for is, you know, what can we do in our town and how can we get active in the town? And what we saw is it was tough when our kids were not school age. So that's kind of why I've been trying to also create programming, get parents that have younger kids out there so that they can, you know, get involved as well. So that's one of my personal goals there. We'll move over. You got anything else on that one? Anybody? We'll move over to David and talk about the ice rink. You know, we do have a potential to, you know, use some money. Outdoor programming in the winter, I think, would be huge. I don't know if we can get there between now and when this thing needs to be, you know, put out there. I don't know. So I'll turn it over to David, but I'm a huge supporter of reinvigorating that rink if we can.
Okay, I met with the fire chief and his assistant chief. They spent quite a bit of time with me going over the issues they had before and where we're at now. Basically, the pit where the rink was needs to be leveled and some kind of base put into it. They do not have a storage area they can provide for us, so we'd have to come up with a storage area. Kind of looked at the weight of doing with wood and that, but then you'd have to take it apart. It almost looked like these plastic inflatable. They'd be like blow molded plastic pieces. They would make a frame. They're around that looks like about $4,500, I think. I believe in the letter I sent out to you, I had a picture of it and the cost. So it's something that's doable if we want to explore. I just wanted to make sure we wanted to explore it more before I went and saw if the town was able to level it for us, you know, the highway department.
Anybody have any thoughts
The
on that?
fire department is more than willing to, they would handle the water. We probably have to come up with a way to clear the snow off it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't want to speak for everybody. But I'm sure we could find volunteers. I have a snow blower. I don't mind bringing over to snow blow it off. If that, if it comes to that.
Well, I wasn't trying to be negative. I was just saying, things they'd run into in the past.
No, I didn't say no. I'm not referring negatively at all. I think you're being positive. I think you're bringing up good ideas.
I think it'd be fun. I mean, it's harder to drown than like that. I lived on a lake, and I know what it is to fall through the lake into the ice water. It's not fun.
I wonder if we could do something
So
with volunteer. I wonder if we could give out.
Dave,
Oh wait, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Who was that?
Wait, Paul, you were
Community.
I'm good.
all right.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
This is why I don't like this forum. I wonder if we, all the kids from Marshwood have to have like 50 community service hours to graduate. I wonder if we could do something with shoveling off the ice rink to give them community service hours.
That's a great
Well,
idea.
even better, Kelly. Maybe they could help. I mean, I'd have to go look. I'll go take a look at it. But if it's like minimum work, meaning like 5 people for 3 hours shoveling to get it all level, and that's all we need, and not heavy equipment, we'll have to look and see. But that may be an idea for that too.
I believe he was saying there was a 12-inch. It was a 12-inch pitch across the length of it. So they were having to use. They'd have to put in 12 inches of water to level the water across. So it goes from 4 to 12 inches.
Okay, that doesn't seem too bad to correct. Over roughly.
I would think a bucket loader should do it. I could do it by hand. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Who owns the ball field right next to that area, right next to where the ice rink?
That's cemetery property.
So that's town property?
Yes, you have to go through the cemetery trustees to get that. You can't. Sorry, my son just came in the room. So now I have a visitor. But
Oh, we can't hear you, Celia.
Muted.
sorry, I turned off my mic by mistake. The cemetery trustees coordinate the use of that ball field with whoever needs it or wants it. And
Okay.
to contact the cemetery trustees, you need to get hold of Mark Kuchar.
Daddy,
Okay. I know Mark well.
we sat down.
Yeah, I'm just curious because the spaces, they're right next to each other. After we started talking about it, I rode the bike by there and I could see like the sign's still there and you can clearly see where everything was set up. I asked about the ball field because it would give us more space to potentially offer some winter programming where kids could just be out there potentially on that field as well. I mean, maybe we could have a bonfire put on by the fire department or something like that. Celia, I know you mentioned that, so
That'd be neat.
I'm all for continuing to look at this, and if we could maybe put together a cost estimate as well. I know it's kind of tough putting a $5,000 before the select board right now, but we haven't really spent any of our budget. We had that $15,000 roughly set aside for the rec director, the $60,000 for Camp Raleigh. So I'd like to definitely pursue it further, and if we can't get it this year, definitely be part of the 3 to 5 year plan for sure.
Yeah.
Work towards it.
It's a good idea, Mike.
So David, you good if you want to keep working on that and try and put together some solid estimates for us?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, great.
Thank you, David.
No, I'd like to see it work.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be great to revive that. The last thing for the new business is I put the storage space consideration on there. I know it was talked about during the workshop, and that kind of goes into what we were talking about as far as the inventory of the shed. And also, I'd like to get a feel for who has what stored at their house right now. Cecilia, I know you said you have some stuff. I know I have the soccer stuff here at my house. And I that's how, people leave the committee and it just gets lost along the way. Not that anybody does it purposefully, but yeah, it's sitting in the rafters of my garage. I wouldn't think about it for a year or two. I get it. So I just want to try and come up with an inventory of what we have out there, and whose house it's at for the meantime before we can find that space to actually centrally house everything. So yeah, if after this, between now and the next meeting, if you get a chance to look around what you have of the rec equipment, that'd be great. And then I'll start putting together an inventory.
I have most of the basketball stuff here at my house.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, just, hey, you have 8 basketballs, whatever jerseys, I don't know, medical kits that you don't want to share with soccer. I get it. That's cool.
I have Camp Raleigh. I have Camp Raleigh stuff, radios, banners, t-shirts, stuff that we took at the end of the season, the director's binder. And we discussed with Caroline in the past about maybe using the upstairs of the town hall as a possible space.
Okay. Yeah, we can look into that.
And then we have the shed, and I don't know how feasible that is.
You gave me the key to the shed. Which shed is it that we're talking about? Is it the one right next to the softball field?
Yep, the blue one.
That's right ours. Up there, right in the backstop.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, if you just get a chance to, put a list together, send it my way, just to consolidate so we know what's out there. Then we can start figuring out what space we need.
Good idea.
For old business committee recruit, I think we already kind of hit on this. Really, you're going to see the old business keep growing here. And it's really for us just to keep track of. We talk about a lot of things in these meetings, but I feel like I was trying to figure out a good way for us to, keep it going. We have good conversations, but then if we don't bring it up the next meeting, it's kind of just falls off and it goes away. And I don't want that to happen because, like it's been mentioned a few times now, everyone's got good passion about this. And I think we have some great ideas. It's just finding the time to actually follow through with it outside of these meetings is sometimes troubling. So you'll see this list grow, but for the committee recruiting, honestly, if everyone can try to get one person, that'd be awesome. Definitely a time commitment right now, as far as we talked about earlier with the kids schooling remotely and COVID, everything else. So please, if you can find somebody now, Celia is going to be, out of pocket from January to March. So that's going to be a huge hit on us because she does a lot for the committee. So definitely going to be a big shoes to fill there. So I'll put that charge out to you. But I understand as well if, people have other things that are pulling them away. Life happens. You got to do what's best for the family first. And, we'll keep moving forward with what we got. For the goals, 2021 really is what I put on there because 2020 is almost over and I'm trying to forget about it. Didn't happen. Anybody have any input on those? Celia shared the vision. I didn't realize we actually had a vision statement. It's pretty awesome.
I think Kelly and I are the only two that were on the committee when the vision statement was created. So you might want to read, if you have it handy, Mike, share it or read it.
I thought I had it right here. Where did I put it? Searching. I thought it was interesting because it's similar wording to what's in the Camp Raleigh handbook. There we go. Where is it, Celia? You sent it to me. I looked at it.
I don't even remember what our vision was, Celia. How was
Come
our
on, Phil, you
vision?
should remember
Well, I'll have to send it to you guys. I've lost it somewhere in the.
give me a sec. I might be able to get it. Here.
Oh, I think I
And
got it.
now it's
I found it. You ready?
you're quicker than me. Yep.
To provide fun, engaging, and rewarding recreational activities and experiences for residents of Rollinsford and surrounding communities. And that was passed in January of 2018. So 2.5 years ago. So fun, engaging, and rewarding recreational activities.
Got it.
I think that kind of falls,
I like
think that
it.
falls in line with the goals, for 2021 at least. That vision statement is almost, I think that's something that we could add to a little bit there. Just as you saw and I talked about earlier, with the goal of to promote our community involvement, to get people excited about being a part of the Rollinsford community. So I'll keep working on that unless anybody has anything else to add to our goals. Recruitment. Part-time rec director would be awesome. Okay, for the committee job descriptions, I think we've done a good job working on that so far. The next step for me is I'm going to just put together so anybody that joins the board would be able to see, hey, here's the select board, here's the rec committee, and we are advisory to them, and then here's how the rec committee is comprised, and here's all the duties that fall underneath it. So that's really the last thing for those job descriptions that you'll see. I think everything that we've done so far, it works just fine. I just need to put it into that format so that anybody can understand really our role and where we sit. Lori's not here for the historical scavenger hunt. I think she got off to a good start with that. David, were you able to help her at all with that, or has there been any progress?
Sorry, I'm muting again. I sent her some samples, and I really didn't get it. I didn't hear back, so I think she got tied up in other things. So I was using my software, my photographic software to enhance the pictures and do some things for her.
Do you want to reach back out to her after this and just see where it's at? I mean, that's something we might be able to push out after our next meeting in October, and people could actually do that this fall, walk around town and take a look at that stuff.
Yeah, I like that idea.
All right, I'll send an email out to her, and I'll copy the committee on it.
Yeah, if we could just put something together, finalize it, try to put it into a format that we can send it out to the town. I think that'd be great.
So I'll just comment. I found a grave in the old cemetery that's from 1760. So if someone thinks they can find one older than that, be interested.
1760. Wow.
1760.
Jeez.
That's impressive.
The challenge is on.
Did you go in the grave sites off of Heritage Road?
No.
Yeah, there's a little graveyard back there. I was looking at a house when we moved here. So the second house, I think, on the left, there's a graveyard.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I never looked at that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though, now that you mention it. Yeah.
There's Rollins.
Yeah, we tried to. We were trying to clean that up.
Yeah, there's some old
last
ones.
year.
Huh.
It's called the First Parish Burial Ground, the one off of Heritage, because that's where the first Rollinsford Parish was. And I know the cemetery committee and Arch have worked before on cleaning it out. And speaking of things this fall, Arch is trying to put on a cemetery tour or walk around Halloween. If anybody wanted to reach out to them.
Okay.
And the contact there would be Julia Roberts.
Cool. Good info. Thank you, Celia. For the road to Camp Raleigh, Kelly, do you have updated version of that? I know we added some stuff over the last couple months. Have you included those additions, or have you looked at it at all?
I haven't looked at it, Mike.
All right. When you get a chance, can you just send me your most up-to-date version?
Yeah, we'll see if I even have an up-to-date version. I might have to go back on those notes.
No, I thought it was a good start, and really, I just want to try to fill it in. And it's called the road to Camp Raleigh, just to get us started there, because I felt like that was our biggest muscle movement. But really, the more that I dig into this committee, I'm realizing, Camp Raleigh is a big part of it, but we need to focus on recreation year round, not just on Camp Raleigh. So it's really what we need to do to establish, how we're going to get all this programming done throughout the entire year. So what I want to do is build a master calendar so like we just talked about, hey, it's a little tough right now in September to be planning something in October just because of our monthly meetings. So really, our programming for the fall should be done in the spring or whatever.
Yep.
And we'll use Camp Raleigh, that roadmap that you have, Kelly, started as our footprint and design to go off of.
Well, I think I had there were other things on that list besides Camp Raleigh. So
yeah, no, there definitely was. I've been calling it the road to Camp Raleigh. So
right.
The draft manuals, Celia, I've been looking at the parent manual, and I think it's great. Honestly, the only thing I'm doing to it is just formatting. I'm just pulling paragraphs out to the right indent and lining things up and making them the right font. That's really all I've been doing. I think all the words in there look great. So you did a fantastic job cleaning that up, and I'm just trying to make it look, neat and orderly and make everything line up. So it really hasn't been anything other than that. So I will have that draft out to everybody by the next meeting. And if you can try and get us the staff manual, if you can get that over to me whenever you're done with it, and even if you got a 85%, just send it over. I'll clean it up for you.
It is like 60 pages, so, and it is a lot more in depth and detailed, so it's a work in progress.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to hand it off before January, obviously. So the sooner you're ready to put your to say, hey, you're good with it and send it over, happy to take a look at it for you, because I think so far you've put a lot of thought into it, and everything seems to be in there. We just gotta make it look good and get it ready for the spring. For the other stuff that goes with Camp Raleigh as well, like the admission or the sign up sheet and everything like that. Once you're done with that staff manual, if you could send that over to the sports engine stuff that we're working on, anything that you can think of, just to kind of hand off, so we have that we're tracking on it. For the part-time rec director, we already talked about that. So Paul said he's going to be hired next week. Thank you very much. We're not sure. We'll keep fighting that good fight. We're still left the track phone on there just so we don't lose track of it. We'll talk about that again in the springtime.
Okay.
I don't think we have any action items right now for today. Is there anything that we need to consider voting on or talking about right now?
I don't think so.
Nothing from me.
Put on there a meeting date of the 15th of October. It's about a month out. It's a Thursday. Okay. I moved it off of those off of the Wednesday. I can start doing. I'm just going to line up on Thursdays that are opposite of when I have a school board meeting. If that works for you.
When is the next school board meeting, Mike?
Next Thursday. We're having them every other week right now as we get into this new design for remote learning and how we open up the school.
So is that the 24th?
24th is next school board meeting. So 15th, then we'll shoot for that for the rec meeting. 15th
Got
at
it.
6:30. Good for everybody.
Yeah, it's okay for me.
All right, we'll go for 6:30 then.
Works for me.
Okay. Let's see. I haven't received any emails while we've been on here. Anybody else receive any comments from visitors?
Nope, I don't see any community right now. I'm looking with only 4 of us right now.
Okay. Great. Anybody have any parting words or
I'll
thoughts?
just say,
So-
like I said, go ahead, Kelly. You got something?
Go ahead, Paul.
No, I got nothing.
I
So,
just say
go ahead, Paul.
your organization skills will come in handy. You know, coming up with a 3-5 year plan, I think is a great idea. And I guess, you know, like we talked about, the near future, in the next couple months, we may not be active, but it'll be good to get active in the near future and hopefully get the community involved. And maybe if we get a couple activities going, more people that come to them will be like, hey, maybe I should volunteer. You know, so that's just hopefully optimistic thinking, but I think it could go that way. Like, for examples, the rink. If we got the rink up and running and all of a sudden we have 30 kids up there skating, then you're going to have some parents that are going to, maybe we haven't met, they can say, hey, you know, could use some help, something like that.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
We thought we'd get some parents
So-
from indoor soccer, huh, Mike? Like I thought we were gonna snag some people from there.
I haven't given up hope yet. I'm going to reach back out to them individually. Mass email. No one responds to the mass email. I'm going to do individual emails next.
Guilt, Mike. It works well.
I'll guilt them into it if I have to.
All right.
Well, thank you
And
everybody for your
so-
time. Oh, Celia, go ahead.
For me, I will probably be here through. I was going to say I will probably be here through mid-January.
Okay.
Don't mean to take the whole month off.
Well, hey, you know, whatever time you need, Celia.
Do we need to do a motion and a vote? Yeah.
What'd you say? Do we need to
We're
vote
gonna
for how
work
much
it as a
time Celia gets off?
No.
2 weeks, we said, right? 2 weeks.
You take it off with my husband.
All right.
He-
Well, I
He
guess
can
we'll take
handle it.
a motion to adjourn then, if anybody's ready to do that.
I'll
Yeah.
make a motion to adjourn if this is all the business we have.
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
I'll second that motion
Okay.
if I have to.
And then I think you just have to do a roll call to say yes, and then we're done.
Roll call. vote.
Kelly was the second
Any discussion before we?
at 7:50 p.m.
I still want to
Okay,
know about the soccer goals, Mike. That's my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to look into that honestly, and I want to know about the wasp too, because I was pushing for that in the spring. I said, why not? You know, this is a good time right now. Let's do it. Nobody's using it.
I know.
Yeah, the money went elsewhere at that point.
Well, I'm sure.
There were a lot of things that we bought for the school for the fall. So, all right,
Yeah.
roll call vote, Kelly.
Roll call vote. Kelly, you ready?
I guess. What do I say?
To adjourn.
Yes, Kelly.
Yes. You say yes.
Done.
David, are you ready to adjourn?
David says yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
and
All right.
Celia says yes. We're officially adjourned.
Thank
All
you,
right.
everybody. Have a good night.
Good night,
We'll see
everybody.
ya.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Billy, I might have a bike for your son that needs more exercise.
Okay. I will get in contact with you.